Good morning.
Devil May Cry.
For the first time ever in the series, Devil May Cry 5 is going for a realistic approach for their characters by implementing scans of real faces and bodies from real people that are used for the various characters in the game. And so far, we've seen the in-game models for Dante, Nero, Nico, and Morrison. But what we haven't seen so far are the models themselves and the faces they're based on and are used to create the characters. Well, that's up until now. Hey, what's up good people, it's YellowMotion here and welcome to a new Devil May Cry 5 video. As it's now confirmed that these two models are the faces of Dante and Nero, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it. So let's get right into it.
This is a trial from the heavens above.
So let's start with Dante, as this model from the UK, Adam Cowie, is the face of Dante in Devil May Cry 5, as this is what he said on his Instagram page. I'm incredibly proud to announce that I will be playing Dante in Capcom's Devil May Cry 5. The news broke this evening at the E3 Games Expo in Los Angeles, and already the internet hype has begun. Now let's have a look at Adam compared to Dante. As you can see at the first glance, both of them are looking a lot like each other and have the same specific facial features such as the eyes, eyebrows, cheeks, jawline, and especially the nose, as that's something that immediately took my attention once I saw Dante's new design. And overall expressions of the model are very well implemented into Dante's character, as the images of Adam really gives you another look at Dante, as we haven't seen so much of Dante, as his face is mostly covered by his hair, and this is pretty much the only image we have right now. Adam also really gives a good look at how Dante can look if he's shaved, which makes him much more younger, as I've already mentioned in my previous video that Dante is actually not that old, but it's the combination of the long hair, small scruffy beard, his expression on his face, and the dark, lifeless lighting in the scene itself is already making him look like he's aged quite a bit. But it really shows that compared to Devil May Cry 4, several years have passed instead of a decade, what many believe it to be. Now it's not been confirmed if Adam's face scan was also used for the model of Virgil, since the sons of Sparta are twins after all. We are not in a position yet to know that information yet, of course, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually his face scan as well that's been used for Virgil but tweaked to their liking, since the developers of Devil May Cry 5 already said that they scanned faces of real models and tweaked them one way or another to make it a better fit for the characters for the game. But looking at the many pictures of Adam and seeing Dante's design, I do really think that Adam is a great fit and a good choice for Dante in Devil May Cry 5. And I'm really looking forward to see more of in-game Dante in the flesh, and how he's going to look in the next trailer for Devil May Cry 5. Now let's move on to Nero, as UK-based model Karlo Baker is the official face of Nero in Devil May Cry 5. Now Karlo's name was already mentioned in the latest episode of Capcom's Confidential podcast, where Matt Walker, one of the producers of Devil May Cry 5, mentioned the name of Nero's model by the name of Karlo.
We got a proper, sexy British model named Karlo to be Nero.
After a quick look at who Matt follows, we could see that there was a Karlo Baker, a UK-based model that really looked like Nero, as it's pretty much him indeed. And later on, Matt replied that it's indeed Karlo. Now let's have a more closer look at Karlo and Nero and compare the two. As just with Dante, you can see that Karlo's face is pretty much a spot-on implementation for Nero's face in Devil May Cry 5. His eyes, eyebrows, nose, mouth and jaw are pretty much identical to the model. You can see that there is some slight tweaking going on, but I would say that like 95% is like a spot-on implementation. As you can see how really well it's implemented into the character, and just like with Dante, they have found a really good model that fits Nero. As in my opinion, they've done a very good job in finding the right models for their looks. As you can see that both actor and characters are really recognizable. But nonetheless, we can clearly see that the faces of the models are being well implemented into the characters, pretty much to a degree to the looks from the real life models. As that really makes me look forward forward to see how the other characters will look like in the game. Virgil, Trish, and assuming Lady as well, along with the real-life faces of the models that they've used. And what's also interesting is that Matt said that not only they've made scans of the faces, but also the bodies of the models.
We actually did those where like the characters, the models were actually pretty nude, and you're not really going to see a whole lot of that in the game.
But it allows the artists to actually use as much skin as they need to,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
It keeps it accurate.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean we can get into some really boring technical stuff here, but yeah,
Right.
it's very much so that you can have that portion of the model
Exposed.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But since these models are obviously good looking and in a great shape, I can imagine that this also is going to be implemented into the game somehow. Maybe with some additional costumes, maybe a throwback to Devil May Cry 3 Dante, if of course it's appropriate for the characters. But make no mistake guys, it's still Ruben Langdon, Johnny Young Bosch and Daniel Southworth that have reprised their roles of Dante, Nero and Virgil, as they have done the motion capture and voice work for the characters in Devil May Cry 5. So in this example, Dante and Nero are based on the physical and facial appearance of Adam and Karlo that are tweaked to fit the characters more better into their liking, while Ruben and Johnny have done the mocap and voice work for their characters. And that process is pretty much being applied to all the major and specific characters that we're going to see in Devil May Cry 5. But nonetheless guys, it surely looks like Capcom is taking the production with Devil May Cry 5 to another level and making sure to deliver a great AAA product with an overall high production value that's really never been seen in a Devil May Cry game before, as this is the first time ever that a Devil May Cry game is being developed with the right amount of development time and the right amount of budget that is made available for the project. And as a long-time DMC fan since the first game, I'm really happy to see this, as Hideaki Itsuno and his entire team are making sure to give it all and make the best Devil May Cry game they've always wanted to make.
みんなが期待してる以上のゲームになってると自信を持って言えます。ぜひ期待してください。
And there you have it guys, this was my Devil May Cry 5 video talking about the faces behind Dante and Nero, and once more is known, I'll make sure to update on you guys. But the most important thing is, what do you guys think of the models that are being used for the faces for Dante and Nero? Do you think they look alike, and is it a great match? And does it give you another perspective on the characters themselves, now that you've seen the real counterparts on who they're based on? Well, jump into the comment section below and leave me your thoughts. Now listen guys, while you're here, why don't you like and share the video, as that helps me greatly, and become a subscriber to my YouTube channel, as more Devil May Cry 5 content is in the making. Stay tuned for my next upcoming Devil May Cry 5 character analysis and breakdown video, as I'll be talking about Nero and Virgil, giving you my analysis and breakdown and everything you need to know, just as I did with my video for Dante and the new demon villain, as it's definitely going to be in depth, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. And you can also find me on my social media pages, simply add YellowMotion for more news and updates. And that'll do it for me guys for this one. Thanks a lot for being here and thanks a lot for watching. I see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Devil May Cry.